Financial setbacks, they happen. They're going to happen. You're not perfect, Patty, but you can always bounce back. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. And if this is the first video of mine that you have ever clicked on, welcome. I am Diana. I am the creator of Money Boss Mama, where I teach women just like you how to become a money boss from the inside out. And I have always been very transparent on my debt-free journey. I want women to know that despite their circumstances, debt freedom is still an option. But unfortunately, what happens on your debt-free journey is sometimes you have a financial setback, or maybe you're not even on a debt-free journey. You're just trying to save money, build wealth. Whatever you're trying to do with your finances, it is not going to be a linear process. But sometimes on the internet, it can seem like that. So I've said before that on my debt-free journey, I went into debt about 4 to 5 times. And I felt like every single time, this is it for me. This is it for me. I'm frustrated. I just lost a lot of motivation. I'm wanting to quit. But I used a 5-step process to bounce back every single time. And in this video, I am going to be breaking down my 5-step process to help you bounce back if you have recently had a financial setback and maybe went into more debt. So without further ado, let's get into step number 1. Step number 1 is to understand what happened. Understand what would happen, analyze the situation, because just like with history, you have to know your history so that history doesn't repeat itself. If you really don't know what has happened in the past and analyze the situation to understand what went wrong and why, then you're more prone to repeat it again. And I know that depending on your personality, you might not even want to deal with it at all. You might want to act like it does not exist because the thought of it makes you sick to your stomach, and you feel like if you look at it in its entirety, it's going to make it more real. So it's just easier for you. It feels better to try to act like what has gone wrong has not really happened, like it doesn't exist, but you are doing yourself a disservice when you do that. A financial setback is just feedback. It is experience that you needed to gain wisdom. Now you know what not to do because it results in XYZ, if I'm making sense. And I know that there are some people in the same breath that are super hard on themselves. So instead of acting like it does not exist, they are stuck in the shoulda, woulda, coulda phase. So you're really just down on yourself, like, I should have done this. What if I would have done this? Oh, I should have done this, and then I wouldn't be XYZ. Da 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 da. Still, depending on what side of the spectrum you're on, whether you are in the shoulda, woulda, coulda stage and you're really hard on yourself, or you act like it doesn't exist, it's still, both are keeping you from progressing. Both are keeping you in the same spot, because when you act like it doesn't happen, you're not going to take action to fix it because you don't even know what to fix. And then when you are stuck in the shoulda, woulda, coulda phase, you are keeping yourself stuck in the same spot because you're not taking action to go forward, because you are blocking your opportunities to go forward. You're using all your brain energy, or brain space. I don't even know if that's a freaking word, but you're using all your brain energy, it's a word today, on what should have happened, even though it already happened. So you're not going forward. What has happened has already happened. You can't change the past, but you can change the future. And I also feel like whenever you stare it down, the situation loses the power that it once had over you. It loses that grip that it had on you because you're staring it down, you're stripping it of its power, and now you're able to see opportunities to bounce back. And also, with experience comes wisdom. If you did not have any experiences, how would you have wisdom? Wisdom to know what to do and what not to do. So don't see it all as a negative thing. Having a financial setback can be a positive thing. Like for those who are in debt, If you never went into debt, you probably would not know about interest rates, how loans work. You probably would not know about debt payoff strategies. You probably would not have gotten into the topic of personal finance at all. So everything has its place in your life, but you have the power to decide how you're going to go about it. Are you going to let it defeat you, or are you going to get up and bounce back? Step number 2 is to run the numbers. So as I stated, I went into debt about 4 to 5 more times during my debt-free journey. And of course, during each time, I had to add additional debt balances to the debt that I was already trying to tackle. And a lot of the times it wasn't necessarily new lines of credit or new balances. I was adding additional balances to my already existing balances, like my credit cards. Maybe I was adding an additional $2,000 to $3,000 to one credit card that I was already tackling. So just like you did at the start of your debt-free journey, where you listed out all of your balances, you're going to do the same with your new debts. So you're going to list out the balances, the lenders, the interest rates, and the type of debt that it is. And then you're going to work that into your total financial plan. So now you're going to have your financial picture all in one setting, and it's probably going to hurt. But once again, whenever you stare it down, you strip it of its power over you and you start seeing opportunities. So don't feel discouraged whenever you add these additional debt balances to the ones that you are currently tackling, because you have a plan in place that you are putting in place, I should say, to overcome those things. Step number 3 is extremely important, but people love underestimating it. And it is to set a goal. Not goals, but one specific goal. Goal setting, I know it's often talked about and people often create goals, but they don't create goals in a way that's going to light them up and keep them motivated and actually wanting to take daily consistent action. So you may be one of those people that have set goals before, like at the beginning of the year, and then you fizzle out after a few months and you lose that motivation and you just quit and the goal is never reached. You have to know where you want to be, your destination, which is your goal, before you can figure out how to get there, which is your action plan. You cannot create an action plan to bounce back until you know where you want to be. So creating a specific goal is key. I'm an advocate for SMART goals. I always use SMART goals because you want your goal to be specific, you want it to be measurable, you want it to be relevant and attainable, and you want it to be time bound. Because if you just say that I'm going to start on a Monday, girl, there are a lot of Mondays during the month. And it's so easy to be like, okay, I'm going to start next Monday. But when you put a specific date on it, like a timestamp, it just does something to you mentally where you know that you have to get your butt in gear by this specific date. And then you have a goal that you are trying to hit at a specific time. So it pushes you to keep working towards that goal and taking daily consistent action. And also, whenever you are creating a goal, your brain automatically adopts that new identity. So you want to make sure that your goal is realistic. That is key. Setting an unrealistic goal, you guys, is a recipe for losing motivation and feeling down about yourself because you didn't hit the goal. You could not hit the goal. So you want to take your current financial situation into consideration whenever you are setting your goal. Don't take the income that you're expecting to have in the next few months. Use what you have right now. So should something happen later down the line, you still have your goal that is realistic to your current financial situation. So based on the debts that you have, including the debts that you recently ran up and the ones that you are currently working on before the financial setback, choose one of those debt balances to focus on. Choose the one that lights you up the most. So this could be the one with the lowest balance. This could be the one with the highest interest rate. It could be one with the highest payment, or it could be one that is causing you the most stress. And whenever you set your goal, make sure it is within a 6 to 1 year time frame. So you want to kick your butt into gear and you don't want it to go past a year. So for example, let's say that you ran up a credit card balance by $2,000. So now your current debts are for student loans. You have a $3,000 credit card and a $4,000 credit card with that $2,000 that you ran up additional added into that. So that credit card that you just recently ran up is causing you the most stress. It's making you sick looking at it. You're just ready to get it over and done with. So you decide to change your goal, because you are going to have to change the goal that you were previously working on if you were already on a debt-free journey, because now you have to add in that setback. So you decide to change your goal from tackling maybe a student loan to focusing on that $4,000 credit card balance. A goal you can set is you want to pay off $1,500 from that credit card balance in the next 6 months. And a goal is going to need the who, what, when, where, why, and how, which brings us to step number 4, which is adjusting your spending plan. So depending on what you were doing before on your debt-free journey, it is of course going to need to be adjusted. Your spending plan is going to need to be adjusted because now you have new debts that you have worked into the picture. And I always suggest going straight to your budget first, because your budget shows you what you are doing with your income. It's the easiest way to go about it. Your budget is your spending plan. And so it's going to tell you what expenses you're paying for, how much each expense is, and how much discretionary income that you have that you could work into this goal or this plan, because your discretionary income is the amount of free money that you have after all of your expenses are taken care of. I always advocate for a goal-based budget. You want to adjust your spending plan and make it work around your goal. So depending on your goal, let's say going back to our example, we want to pay off $1,500 from the credit card we ran up in 6 months. So when we go to our budget, depending on how we were previously going about it, we're of course going to need to pull the funds from that student loan that we were once focusing on and apply the majority of our excess funds to that credit card. Of course, you are still going to make your minimum payments on your other debts. We don't want you to default or anything like that. So make your minimum payments on your other debts. But because your goal is focused around this one credit card, your extra money is going to need to be applied to this credit card in order to get the goal knocked out, in order to get the balance to where you feel most comfortable, and in order to bounce back. Step number 5 is to break up your goal into milestones and milestone tasks. We all know that having a budget and a goal is just simply not enough. If it were, a lot of us would be out here killing it. But unfortunately, a lot of people who set goals don't reach them. You have to be committed to taking daily action towards your goal. And a great way to ease yourself into doing this without feeling like you are dying is to break up your goal into milestones. And then for each milestone, create tasks to achieve each milestone. So you're kind of like tricking yourself into getting to the goal by taking even smaller steps. So going back to our goal where we want to pay off $1,500 from our credit card in 6 months, we can create 2 milestones. So maybe our first milestone is to stop using the credit card. And then number 2 is to increase our credit card payment from $300 to $380 by April 1st, 2021. So now that we have our milestones, we need to set or create milestone tasks. What needs to be done to make sure each milestone is going to be hit? You do want to do at least 1 to 3 things daily. So set 1 to 3 daily tasks for yourself, because you want to get into the habit of taking daily action towards your goal. And guys, it takes about 30 days to form a habit. So just expect for the beginning to feel really uncomfortable, especially if this is new. It's not going to be easy, but it does get easier over time. So using one of the milestones as an example, we'll use stop using the credit cards. Our tasks can look like we're going to leave the credit card at home before we leave the house. So we're going to take them out of our wallet, put them up, and then we are going to leave out without the credit card so we're not tempted to use it. And then the second task could be pack a snack every day for work. That way, whenever you get off work, you can eat your snack on your way home. That way, you're not tempted to stop by a fast food drive-through line and blow your budget and run up your credit card if you did not leave it at home. And then the third task could be unsubscribe from all retailers' email lists. That way we can ensure that we are not going to be using our credit card, but you want to take into consideration what your spending triggers are. What habits do you have? Bad spending habits do you have using and concerning this credit card? And then create your milestones and your tasks around that. All right, so that wraps up how to bounce back from a financial setback. And these were the 5 steps that I used to help me bounce back every time I went into more debt. I do want to reiterate that you are more than capable of bouncing back. You have a decision. You can decide to let the financial setback just take you out the game, or you can decide to get up and do something about it. As long as you are disciplined, you are motivated, you have a specific goal and action plan to overcome this financial setback, then you will. And for anyone who has had a financial setback and you overcame it, leave it down in the comments below for those who are maybe experiencing a financial setback right now and they need an extra boost of motivation. But until the next time, you guys, I will catch you all in the next video.